The local rare earth minerals industry will receive $240 million in funding today in a move to end Australia's reliance on China. The project's mission is to undermine China's supply chains and bring the production onshore. Dr. Ben Mather is a geophysicist at the University of Sydney, and he joins me now from the campus in Sydney. Ben, g'day. So can you just explain for us, what's the scale of the known rare earth mineral deposits here in Australia, both those that are being mined at the moment and those that aren't being mined but we're aware of?
Hi Joe, it's good to be with you. So Australia has enormous potential to develop its rare earth minerals industry. At the moment, we have explored just a fraction of what's available within Australia. But the problem is that most of Australia's critical mineral resources are obscured by a layer of sediment at the surface. So the problem kind of lies in that we need to develop new tools to find these previously unexplored resources so that we can build batteries, solar panels and electric cars to reach net zero emissions by 2050.
And yeah, so can you give us any idea? I take into account that it's a bit kind of unclear, but can you give us a rough idea of what's known about the scale of these resources here in Australia under the ground at the moment?
I wouldn't be able to quantify that with a number, unfortunately, but we do have plenty of scope to explore for these resources at a much larger scale than what we're currently exploring them at. At the moment, it looks like a lot of the government funding is going towards existing mines and existing infrastructure to expand their capabilities. But what would be nice is to see some additional funding going towards the research sector in order to explore for these minerals using new tools that use such techniques as machine learning and data temporal, spatial data mining in order to explore these rare earth elements.
Yes, I've been going into a bit more detail for us. You mentioned before that the deposits are difficult to get to in Australia because they're covered by sediment. Explain for us what that sediment is and how deep that sediment layer is before you get to the rare earth minerals.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So a lot of Australia's resources is obscured by about a kilometre thick layer of sediment. And now the sediment
That's a lot of sediment to dig through. That's a lot of sediment to dig through, huh?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. China's been pretty lucky in terms of their resources because most of them are found at the surface, and so you don't have to dig too far to find them. But the sedimentary layers in Australia, they're relatively porous and easy to drill through, relatively speaking. We just need to be able to uncover where these deposits are because we have a limited understanding based on the present day knowledge of where these mineral deposits form. And all the easy deposits in Australia have already been found. So we need to develop these new techniques and support Australian geosciences to develop the tools to find these resources of the future.
So are any of these projects that are operational at the moment digging through that 1K layer of sediment, or are they're getting access to the easier layers, or are there any that are operating at that sort of level now?
Yes, that's right. So most of the funding from the government is already flowing towards projects that have developed proof of concepts. So they're already been prospective and they've identified the kinds of the size of the deposits that are available. And so yeah, they have using some techniques like geophysical imaging, aided by the Geoscience Australia and the geological surveys. They've been able to identify some critical mineral zones and drill within those. But yeah, as the world transitions to the renewables-led economy, the demand for these critical minerals is expected to soar by sixfold by 2040 in order to limit the Earth temperatures warming below 2 degrees Celsius. So yeah, critical minerals like lithium, cobalt and nickel are required to build batteries, solar panels and electric cars for us to reach net zero by 2050. And these technologies will power the future of the Australian energy demands.
Yeah, but a lot more of this money should be going towards research as opposed to existing projects as far as you're concerned.
Yeah, so of course, developing the existing infrastructure to mine these resources is very important. But yeah, it would be great to see some additional funding going through to research so that we don't kind of cut off our nose to spite our faces. If we're going to be truly independent from China's mineral resources, then we need to invest more money into tools and infrastructure to find these previously undiscovered mineral resources and look below the layer of sediments at the surface to find these critical minerals of the future.
Yeah. Okay, really interesting to have a chat to you, Ben. Ben Mather there from the Uni of Sydney.
Thank you.